All right, let's move on to Kanye.
So, okay, the topic is Kanye West moonwalking. Now, let me explain why I named it that. Kanye does this thing where he fucks up, right? And right after he does he tries to do something revolutionary or something to make up for the stupidity that he previously showed. So, like him running for president and doing all this Jesus stuff, right? Now, all of a sudden, he's fighting for everybody's record contracts. To be, he's fighting labels for everybody's record contract.
I haven't heard anything about this, so.
Oh, it's a big thing. Sorry, I'm looking for the exact guidelines that he put out. He put out guidelines for record labels to sign contracts to with people. So here are the. Pardon me, I had the Wells Fargo stuff up. Okay, boom. Actually, I could just go to his page. So essentially, he's in a dispute with Sony, I believe, about his record deal. He wants his masters. He wants to own his music. He does not believe in record labels owning the masters of anybody's music anymore. My problem with it is you take a lump sum of money, they purchase those masters. If they don't want to sell them to you, they don't have to sell them to you. You know what I'm saying? Also, Kanye is in a large amount of debt to his record label. So those masters are the way they're recouping the debt. So Kanye West can pay his debt off, but he's doing this as if he wants to save everybody. He wants to save every musician that's been before him. And so he pops it off, right? He pops it off with I really want to read it verbatim. Okay. Boom. He says,
Is that all cap locks?
I'm going through them. If you want to go to his page on the thing, you can.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up.
Basically he says, Drake and J. Cole owe me an apology. I'm Nat Turner. I'm fighting for all of our rights. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Right? So then he shares his messages with the label talking about I want to own my master. I mean, with his lawyer talking about how he's trying to own his masters and blah, 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 blah. So then he goes on these tweet tirades as if all of a sudden he's the most sane guy in the room and he's fighting for a cause that nobody else is privy to, right? But he signs people to these same contracts that he's talking about he doesn't like. Everyone at Universal and Vivendi, please understand that I will do everything in my legal power and use my voice until all artist contracts are changed, starting with getting my masters for my children. I will not stop, I promise you. I'm petty and I'm very personal. Sony, you are not off the hook either. It is battle time. My children will own my masters, not your children, my children, my children, my children. Everyone, please cover me in prayer. I am one of the most famous people on the planet, and Universal won't tell me what my masters cost because they know I can afford them. Black masters matter. The media tried to kill our heroes one at a time. We used to diss Michael Jackson. The media made us call him crazy. Then they killed him. People say it's enough, and I got my point across. The point isn't across until we cross the point. We sat back and watched Nick Cannon get canceled, and we go to play ball in a bubble with Black Lives Matter on our backs. Brothers, let's stand together for real. So now he's saying the NBA players who went to the bubble or whatever, and they're raising money for all these causes and charities and stuff like that. He's saying, yeah, y'all will go do that. That doesn't matter. What I'm fighting for right now
matters more.
So stand behind this. So he is the actual Kanye is the king of cultural appropriation.
I just think he likes being the center of attention, dog.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not even cultural appropriation, sorry. Struggle appropriation. He appropriates struggles, makes them seem similar to his, so you can fight for a cause that is his, so he can get his whatever
kind of
he wants.
benefit from it, yeah.
And then after that, they were trying to marginalize me. Louis Vuitton won't print my stuff in the same factory where they print their shit. They want to charge y'all $600 for a shirt. He's charging $600 for a shirt.
I think he's definitely trying to bend public appeal to his favor so he can get like his masters back, so he can get people to do it he wants to do. And it's kind of fucked up that he's like taking the like the I'm black, so I should be a part of the social movement that's currently going, and also like my things are important because I'm black.
That's
It's
it.
just, yeah, and it's like, what the
And
fuck?
he said, so all black people need to support me. You know, just this. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And the funny thing is, he's smart because everything he's saying is right.
This is the way he's going about doing it. Is just
It's everything he's saying is right. Read those rules. Advances are just loans. On artists re-signing these stops, advances are loans with 75% interest rates or worse. No other business in the world takes a look at the business, blah, blah, blah. Shares start to profit when it profits. Record companies have to buy into you, not loan you. So essentially what he's saying is you approach them, right? And the record deal is I give you my masters for a certain amount of years.
mm-hmm.
And after those years elapse, I get my masters back.
You get it back. You don't have the opportunity to purchase it
No,
back.
you get it back.
Okay.
So you're renting or leasing my masters. But the masters aren't created yet. I'm creating them for this contract that we have. You know what I'm saying? Which makes sense. People should own their music. Record labels are distributors. They're distributors. They don't need to own your music. So as long as this was benefiting you, you were cool with it. Now it's no longer benefiting you. Now you want to call out all the schemes and everything. You can't be the champion of this cause. Jay-Z tried to start a streaming service just for them. Title: own your music and just sign distribution. Streaming deals, best deals for you guys. We're going to do it. If they got a better deal, we'll match it and we'll give you more. They
How
said
did that work?
Jay-Z was a thief.
Who said that?
People.
Oh,
They just
competition, man.
They just didn't, you know what I'm saying? It could be that. It could have been propaganda against him. It could have been whatever. Tidal's doing this thing. But then he made it so that all the original artists, and he gave the opportunity to almost anybody that had a record deal, would be a percentage owner of the company. And they still, and this is somebody that's been right next to Jay-Z this whole time. Kanye didn't go.
Are
So
Kanye
why
and
didn't
Jay-Z
he ever
still
start his
cool?
own label?
No. Kanye and Jay-Z are not cool. There's no way they can be cool.
Mm.
Why didn't he ever just start his own label like Taylor
Who,
Swift did?
Kanye West?
Yeah.
He did. He signed Big Sean, 2 Chainz, Pusha T. Travis Scott is Kanye's artist. Now think about
But his old original masters haven't been released.
whose?
Kanye's.
Kanye.
So a master isn't a song that's unreleased. It's just ownership of that song.
But that's what I'm saying, because so when you make a song, you break it down into performer rights and recording rights. So he doesn't have the recording rights of these songs.
Exactly. And well, the thing about the music industry is
This is interesting.
the performing rights, especially I can only speak on hip hop artists. The performing rights are only split as far as label performances.
What?
A majority of their
I don't
money.
know what that means.
A majority. Okay, so when you sign your contract or whatever, and you're a major artist, they'll tell you after your first lump sum, show money. That's your money. It rhymes. It's catchy. Blah blah blah. That show money is your money. Literally, nobody gets a cut. That's where you survive. That's why you see artists go on tour.
But the recording is when
The recording and all the residuals that come off of the recording, the royalties and stuff, you get a small percentage, which is your royalties, but the master is owned by the company. So they get their money and then they pay you a royalty based off of you, whatever you negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
What he's saying is, y'all can have it for 5 years, 10 years even. After 10 years, give me my shit back. Because in 30 years, even if 10 people are listening to the song, I want my family to own it. It's the same as owning land, is essentially what he's saying. And it's right. There's a thing within the black community that you haven't made it until you're almost recognized by other communities. You get what I'm saying? So Kanye clung to that very early. If you think about everything he wore, first he was wearing the polo, Ralph Lauren, the collars up, the Carlton sweaters.
I remember that.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And then whenever it's convenient, that's when he seems to go back to this black shit. Like the show money, like I was saying, the show money, he's making show money that's ridiculous. He doesn't need these masters. But I understand the concept behind it.
The sentiment
The
behind it,
sentiment
yeah.
behind it is I need to own something. Because it's not good for black people to produce stuff and not own it. We play basketball, we don't own the NBA. One NBA team. Play football, we don't own any NFL teams. You know what I'm saying?
Michael Jordan owns the Hornets, doesn't he?
I said one NBA owner. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's it. And Michael Jordan owning the Hornets, there's a long story behind that. He was supposed to be the Washington owner. That's why he went to go play for the Wizards. Swindled him out of that. So it's good for black people to own the rights to their intellectual properties.
I agree. Yeah, for sure.
It's good for
How long
any
does he have
race.
left for the
Any
for the
per-
Masters
yeah.
to go up though?
Huh?
He's fighting for the Masters, but if
He's
they're on a
saying they
time
won't
limit, how
tell
much-
him. He's saying the company won't tell him how much they're worth.
Mm.
And that's why he
But-
can't pay, because they know he can afford it. Kanye is also a pathological liar.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I'm wondering if like there's a time limit, then why doesn't he just wait for the time to be up?
No, there is
Unless
no
he's-
time limit. He's saying.
He's saying-
So he put out 8 rules, and these 8 rules are literally guidelines to a perfect musical contract. And I'm not gonna lie, I cannot take that from him.
Let me see if I can read
I
it.
can't find all of them. Okay,
It's right here.
1, the artist owns the copyright in the recordings, and the song leases them to record label publisher for a limited term, 1-year deals. The record label publisher is
2.
a service provider. Number 2, the record label / publisher is a service provider that receives a share of the income on a limited term. The split can be 80-20 the artist. Now, what I want people to keep in mind listening, don't listen to the numbers per se, but more of the concept, because the numbers can be negotiated. 3, dependence. Artists must be dependent on no one but themselves to manage their catalog. You should need no one else to understand the business you're in. 4, lawyers, the thing, and when he says manage the catalog, when you submit an album to a label and they're like, oh, we don't like this song. We don't like that song. You should be able to have your inner, like this is my final product as an album. 4, lawyers.
They didn't create it. You're the
You-
creator, and you know what you're
exactly.
trying to get out. And,
It-
yeah,
and
that makes
It
sense
makes
to me.
sense. 4, lawyers. The first thing that changes about record deals is actually lawyers. We need plain English contracts. A lawyer's role should be to improve deals, not charge for contracts we cannot understand or track. Rewrite deals to be understandable from first read. That one right there is very important. If I'm
Yeah,
paying
that's
you
true.
this
Music
fee,
lawyers are-
why do I need it to be rewrite this so I can understand it?
Music lawyers are intense, man. Like I heard about a recent case where they literally broke down the science of like the percentage of a particular note in a certain melody to compare one song that Katy Perry wrote to some other song that somebody else wrote, and they literally used it down to a science. And they're like, "Look, this song is 80% this person's other song.
Exactly.
There's other person's song. So by default, because it passes the 50% threshold, it is now plagiarism."
Exactly. And then
And
you
it's
have
like, what the
you also
fuck,
have to
dude?
think
We've
about
been
people
writing music forever.
who have songwriters. So that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5, equity and blanket licenses are the majority of the future new income. If you're with a major, you have invested your songs as shares in their power to get equity in deals. Almost all new deals are based on all songs going to store or app. The equity is the artist. So that's important because I drop a #1 song, the label's value goes up. There should be a trackable increase of income based on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, they hit a #1 song, it doesn't matter. They've already been paid. You may get royalties based on the amount of
And the
plays,
pay doesn't change even if
but
it
it
did hit
doesn't. That's later on and
It's
over
locked
time.
in.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what he's saying is, okay, you do a song, you get your deal, they do they loan you. If it charts #1 and the percentage of the company, what you've brought to the company is equatable or quantifiable, then there should be some type of dividend paid to whether it be a share or stock or an increase in payment, which makes sense. Go on.
No, that's 5 again. He repeated the number on accident.
Oh, okay. Advances are just loans because he's retarded. That's why he did it. Advances are just loans. On artists resounding these, stop. Advances are loans with 75% interest rates or worse. No other business in the world takes a look at the business, buys shares, starts to profit when it profits. Record companies have to buy into you, not loan you. Okay, so he's just stating a fact there, and he's basically telling you these advances that you get from loans. If you don't have, like, if you're a young artist without a large catalog, you'll get an advance. That advance is, oh, we believe in you this much, so be famous and make good music with this money. You're paying back 75% on that. So, like, what are you making? You know
You're
what I'm
already
saying?
in the hole.
The whole. So royalties, again, back to dependence. You need a business manager really to read how you did. So you pay to see your money. No more.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if you go deeper in the hole, then your
Yeah.
music starts being overproduced because they're going to start selling your image.
Okay, boom. Every song you deliver royalty porters. Okay, boom. That's true because it's hard for you as an artist. It's hard for you to keep track of how much you should be paid in royalties because there's so much going on.
I believe that. That would make sense.
It's weird, man. It's actually kind of tricky because as like a front-facing artist, yeah, it's a little bit harder. But as a no-name artist, it's a little bit easier. So like what you can do as a no-name artist is just like if you don't, you normally would get paid as a work for hire. Like Taylor Swift would never hire a guitarist and give them royalty rights because they know that song's gonna make over $1 million easily, and you're gonna give just a no-name guitarist who comes in and throws down a lick royalty rights. Like, hell no. That guy's gonna make like $2 million off that. So you're gonna give him $5,000 to $10,000, have him come and record where he needs to, and then tell him to leave. And so with the no-name artist, though, what you can do is you can actually be like a guy who's just like, hey, look, I know you're struggling and you don't have any money to pay me, so I'm gonna record these licks for you. Just give me some royalty rights. A struggling artist would rather give you royalty rights than pay you $5,000 up front because they don't have the upfront cash. And if they go off, well, then you get rich. So you can technically just like whore yourself out as a musician and just sign on to a bunch of no-name artists with little royalty rights and start collecting like a passive income in pennies from all these people.
For example, I'll name 4 examples. I just want to say, well, I'll read one last thing. It says, this is a call for all artists to unify. I will get my masters. I got the most powerful lawyer in music and I can afford them, but every artist must be freed and treated fairly. Bullshit. This guy's just bullshitting. He's trying to get everybody to support his bullshit, and people are feeding into it. Because it makes sense. It's beneficial for them, but it's just bullshit, and it's not fair. So with that, I'll say 3 examples. Michael Jackson, 2 Chainz, Prince, and Wiz Khalifa. Wiz Khalifa signed a major deal, basically put himself on the cross, for other artists to come up under him and not have to do that. He believed in himself and the capability to pay it back, but he knows all artists won't be able to do that. Wiz Khalifa is marketable in so many different ways. He's selling papers, weed, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, the record deal, I can pay that back. They didn't think I was going to make all this other money. So he does that. He does Taylor Gang. He signs Ty Dolla $ign. You know what I'm saying? He signs
Juicy J, didn't he?
Juicy J. You know what I'm saying? And he signs all these people, and they're Mac Miller. You know what I'm saying? So now Mac Miller comes into the game independent, but because of Wiz. So his leverage is pure. So Mac Miller's first deal's for $10 million because of that leverage, because Wiz took that cross. You know what I'm saying? Prince, or the artist formerly known as Prince. That was a label dispute. They owned the rights to Prince.
So he called himself the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah, it's like they basically told you, yo, that screen name's already been made. You got to make another one.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, okay.
2 Chainz is his second name. He was Titty Boy. He was signed to Ludacris. Wouldn't let him go. He said, okay, you can have Titty Boy. I'm going to be 2 Chainz. Signed to Kanye. Michael Jackson. Close friends with Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney taught him about rights and owning the music. So you know what Michael did? He went and bought the rights to the Beatles music.
That's funny.
And the Beatles music was owned by this company, ATX. I don't want to be wrong. Something X.
Let me look it up real quick.
And yeah, you can. And so what happens is the company ends up selling.
Does that look right?
No, that's just a power board or something.
Oh, my bad.
Well, it's a company that's like linked to MJ's estate, I think.
Yes. So the company ends up selling for billions, right? And he keeps his shares. And so now, every time Sony produces with music, and you see Sony / blank, 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 it's Michael Jackson making money.
Mm-hmm.
All from buying those masters. Because those masters were such a large portion of that company's shares.
Mm-hmm.
So now every time anybody's music, really, they had heavy hitters on those labels too. I'm talking Katy Perry's. We're talking like millions and millions sold. He's just eating off of it, just chilling. There's a right way to do it. Don't sign the contract.
That's kind of it, man. It's like, don't sign if you don't know what you're signing, because it's so easy to be an up-and-coming artist and some label comes at you and be like, hey, here's $50K, and you're like, yo, that's $50K.
Yeah, talk you up.
Hell yeah. And then you sign up, and all of a sudden you make $1 million, and you're just like, hey, man, I want more. And they're like, no, we gave you the $50K. You signed the contract. That $1 million is ours. And now you realize what, you were getting duped.
Yep. That's why NBA YoungBoy going crazy. Like all the way independent. And he's selling $175K first week. Like, it's ridiculous. You would think a machine was behind him. And it's all grassroots and shenanigans. But he has like a real pain. Like, he's certified. Like, you know what I'm saying? He has real pain in the way he sings and stuff.
Oh, I was about to say, I don't know what you mean by that.
Like, he's done the things he's speaking about.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, everybody clings to him. Young boy, 20, maybe. Got like 2 kids. Like,
so he's genuine, I guess.
Genuine. Like, he's true to himself.
Okay, there we go.
He has more money than a lot of people. Just based off that. So that was just my Kanye moonwalking rant. I'm tired of Kanye using other people's struggles to kind of moonwalk away from what he did. And it kind of goes full circle because Michael Jackson was a good example.
Moonwalk away or move into
moonwalk away from the stupidity and into righteousness or this. It's always this.
So it's away from stupidity but into righteousness.
Yeah, and he's always comparing himself to somebody. I'm Nat Turner. I'm Picasso. I'm this. I'm Van Gogh. I was like, bro, but what about Kanye? Boy, that's a lost soul, boy. Let's talk about something else.
I don't think he's a lost soul. I just think he's like everyone else out in this world. A little bit broken.
Burnt out. He burnt out.
This guy.
I can see that. He's burnt out, and he's just like, I need my masters. I don't know how long I can keep this up. I need to get all the things I can to make sure I'm secure for the rest of it.
How old is Kanye? He's getting older. Like, he's just getting old.
I can tell you what's funny. I can tell you how all of this probably happened. He was probably at dinner with the Kardashians. Some jokes were cracked. They were teasing each other. And Chris was like, what do you mean? You don't even own your masters. And everybody laughed, and Kanye did not find it funny.
Because that's low-key not funny.
And then Kanye was like, fuck that shit. I'm finna go get these masters. This bitch ain't never gonna tell me that shit again. Ever. How dare her? Masters? He's like, nah, I'm doing this for all of us now. This is for all of us. This is for my kids. He brought everybody into his kids, other artists. Come on, son. There's people who have, there's an artist who tweeted him and was like, bro, you offered me the same 360 deal.
Hey, thanks for watching a clip of Fake Deep Thinking. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, like the clip, leave a comment, and check out our page for more content. Full episodes of Fake Deep Thinking are released every Friday on Podbean, iTunes, and Spotify. Peace.